now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town radio tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the PoGo Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my excellent co-host. We've got the one and only R.Sigma.
Howdy.
And we've got my biggest critic, Bocefus.
That was a terrible intro. I need you to step it up, partner.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But welcome to PoGo, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And man, I wish I could say I did stuff this week, but I did very little other than play TCG Live.
I mean, I just mostly played Unite, so.
Yeah.
I also just played Unite.
I really want to play it.
The turkey is here. Kind
Not because it's healthy for me, but because it sounds fun. And most things that are good for you aren't fun anyway, right? So
I could easily argue that Pokemon Unite is good for you because if you play it, then you get to spend more time with me.
You know what? That's a solid argument, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is a solid argument. But yeah, I haven't done much at all. This week was very rough at work, so like I barely got anything done in my personal life. It was a long week.
Dog days of summer.
But you guys do anything fun? You have a good time? Did Ho-Oh finally come out in Unite? Did that happen yet?
It did come out.
Yeah. 2 days ago.
I think you only have it if you paid money, but
obviously. Have they fixed Unite where like you can't bring more than one EX in on a team yet, or no?
So there's something about that in the news.
Okay. I was wondering because I played Unite like a couple weeks ago for the first time in a long time. And I was playing with Evie and like a couple other people on the Discord server, puclpodcast.com. You all ask all the time because none of you listen to the end of the show. And I was over there playing, and we were in a match, and we were playing against this team, and I see, because my assumption was that there was only supposed to be one EX per team. That was the whole point of it being marked EX, right?
Mm.
Like these are Pokemon that are typically stronger than other Pokemon for the people who have not picked up Pokemon Unite and like appreciate their sanity.
Yep, that's how things are for the next couple months. Yeah.
And they that's what I assumed it was. Like that was the point. And I went ahead and I got into a match, and there were like 2 or 3 of them, like just in one match against us. And I'm like, what is happening?
Maybe it's a thing for ranked mostly. I don't know.
Yeah, I was on the ranked ladder, I think.
Oh, huh.
I was on the ranked ladder for that, which is what upset me more about it.
They've been toying around with the EX licenses, but like Sigma said, yeah, that's like one of the only things for news this week is the updates that are coming.
Yep.
Please fix it. Please fix it.
Fix is a word. Fix is a word.
Yeah. They're going to exit.
They're going to exit. Yeah.
Exit.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just incredibly frustrated with that. Like, it's just so upsetting. But maybe they'll do something. I don't know. Have either of you played with Ho-Oh? Is it fun?
I have not. I saw Dennis talking about it last night, and he said he was like, whenever he got stunned, his move was canceled. So, but perfect. I also saw people complaining about losing to it. So,
Perfect.
It sounds like a mix.
Yeah, I can believe that. It's probably one of those things that needs to be technical. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's a defender too, which I think takes a little longer to figure out, yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of, the kids don't want to play defenders.
I was going to say, attackers are pretty easy to figure out a lot of the time. It's like, okay, I attack. We're good.
Just hit move. Yeah.
Defenders often fall in the support line more than supporters do, but whatever.
Yeah. I agree with that. I would agree with that.
They kind of blend together. Supporters feel like the less bulky version of a defender. Yeah. Sometimes. So
I feel that too. I feel like the only real like defender Pokemon in that are I haven't played with Ho-Oh yet, so I don't know. I was gonna say Snorlax, Trevenant, and like maybe Blastoise. I feel like are actual defenders. Almost every other defender feels like a supporter.
I would agree with that actually.
And there aren't many supporters or defenders in the game.
Yeah. I was excited to see that Ho-Oh came in as a defender just for that reason, that I was like, one is EX license, which I was like, okay, whatever. But it's not just an attacker or all-rounder. So I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
Since coming back to Unite, I've noticed that. It's like, oh, everything's an all-rounder or an attacker. Cool.
Oh, how a third of all Pokemon in the game are all-rounders.
There's no such thing as a speedster. It's fine.
No, zero.
No. Even some of the speedsters that they have come out with aren't even speedsters, I feel like.
The first couple made sense.
Like, isn't Leafeon classified? Leafeon's classified as a speedster, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's just because it's frail. I don't feel like it's that fast.
Yeah, it's not fast.
It hits hard, but yeah.
It's not fast, so like I don't know what's going on. It's fine.
I want the other 3 evolutions dropped all in one go.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see them do like the 3 originals. Like if they did the 3 originals, I would love to see it be a mechanic like Scyther almost.
Where you can choose your evolution.
Where you choose the evolution just to make like those stand apart from the other 4 or 5.
I could see that. That'd be pretty cool.
Make it the manga one. It's fine.
Yeah, kind of. Well, no, you shouldn't be able to switch between them, but you should be able to choose like as you're going, like, oh, I'm going to be Jolteon, oh, I'm going to be Flareon, or I'm going to be Vaporeon.
No, I'm with Sigma. Give me manga.
That would give you a little more flexibility to it.
Yeah. And I think it makes the other 3 set apart from the others.
You switch every time you use your Unite move like Blaziken. You switch from Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon. It's canonically, it spreads.
It's going to be like the worst version of Pokemon Trainer in Super Smash Brothers.
Oh.
Where it has a cycle.
What if that was like the solo mission, where you fight like Cynthia or Leon, and then they have those ones, but they just bring in Red and it's Eevee, and it just cycles through Vaporeon, Jolteon, only as an anime, anime.
Just like from the manga. The problem is like nobody but us has read the manga.
I haven't even read the manga. I just know that Eevee was cool.
Very cool.
Nobody's read the manga. It's just us. We're the only ones.
Wasn't it an experiment by Rocket or something?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And then
eventually it becomes Espeon. Hence
evolves
the gold silver battle.
Yeah.
Or was it the crystal battle? One of the 2.
I don't know which battle it was, but it does eventually become Espeon. You are correct.
I can't remember which one was Snorlax, which one was Eevee, I think were the 2 that changed between the 2 battles.
Yeah, you're correct.
Time to go reread the manga.
Yeah, no, those changed. Because, in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I don't think Espeon's on the team.
I think it was Snorlax, Lapras, or the 2 they went with.
That's it, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Snorlax and Lapras, because instead of following the manga like they did for the original release of Gold and Silver,
they just said, here's the gift Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much. They're just like, here are the gift Pokemon, which is kind of the same vein that it was in the manga, because like Eevee is a gift Pokemon as well. Yeah,
it's just one that doesn't have to worry about a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, here you go, have all the starters, Pikachu and Lapras and Snorlax, because everybody's gonna have a Lapras, and it's just like, okay, this is not exciting. Like, I think the Espeon's more exciting than Lapras.
It is, but you don't have to be like a canonical evolution here.
That's true. I mean, it is more confusing to people who have not played said game, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's also frustrating because in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, there's like no Johto Pokemon that you battle really, and so as time you fight Espeon is at Critique City. The Kimono Girls, and it's like, man, it'd be really cool if we could fight Espeon again against Red versus another Lapras, which I can go fight any Friday I want to. But tons of problems with Gold, Silver, Crystal. Like, you never once ever fight a Scizor.
Many.
Scizor. Just Scizor.
Scizor, like the poster child of Gen 2, never appears in the game at all.
Really?
Never. You never face it one time. Not against Team Rocket, not against any of the gym leaders, no Elite Four.
There's no way to see it at all?
There's no sighting of Scizor in Silver, Gold, or Crystal.
That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. I know a lot of people thought Skarmory was a Gen 3 Pokemon just because you never have to see it.
Yeah.
Never encounter it in a battle, and it's only on the route that's in between Blackthorn City.
In one of the games.
In one of the games, yeah.
Not even both. Just one of the games you can find it. In a route that's completely optional.
Nobody confuses Gligar, though, with Gen 3. And Gligar wasn't in Ruby and Sapphire, that's why.
It wasn't in Ruby and Sapphire, that's why they don't confuse it. Yeah.
Word. Okay.
Yeah, figured that one out for you, Bo. Maybe not everything else, but we figured that one out for you.
Well, these were thoughts I had out loud. Which are how most of my thoughts happen, because if I don't, they don't happen.
All right, well, this has been an introduction segment. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick it on over to our news. So let's cue that epic music.
Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. Yay. As we mentioned in the last segment, Ho-Oh is available in Pokemon Unite. There's also a free Charizard to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the game. It also received a bunch of buffs in the last patch, so it's probably better than it was. I'm not saying it's good, but it was probably better. Lastly, they're killing the EX mechanic in September, so let's expect the current EX Pokemon to be nerfed into the ground. Also, the Curse of Miku is over for now, ending with a song with Cynthia and her Platinum team. Wait, like Miku, like the artist?
No, the Hatsune Miku promo that's been going on for a year is done.
Yeah. Oh, it's still been happening?
Yeah, the last one was done like Friday.
This is news to me.
They were doing a song for each type. It was. I knew. Apparently,
I knew that, but like that happened. Like that feels like that wrapped up like 6 months ago.
I think it was like in the spring, and then they're like, "Hey, here's one last thing." It's like, oh, okay.
I don't know how time works anymore.
I don't know.
I'm 33.
I just accept it.
I'm near expiration. You know. All right. Well, we've got some Scarlet and Violet news now. I think that's going to be you, Sigma.
Yeah, starting Thursday night, Dondozo will be replacing Pikachu. You still get the water shards from them. But those are that's the new 7-star raid. If you haven't beat Pikachu yet, you can use like Grass Ogerpon and it's super easy. Give it Knockoff, Horn Leech, and Swords Dance and you're fine. But the Tatsugiri forms will be in each area of the game. Then you can shiny hunt them if you want them. The shiny odds are boosted, so good times. Unless Dondozo has Unaware, it shouldn't be too bad. But I could see them giving it Unaware when that was like one of the scariest raids at the beginning of the game. So we'll see how that goes. And the other piece of news is that Friday this week, we're getting the Royce Fuecoco to go with the other 2 starters that we have. So, yay.
Yay.
Fuecoco.
Fuecoco.
Something steel event with shiny Togedemaru. This is Pokemon Go news. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's highlighted funny. Yeah, there's a something steel event happening, getting you a shiny Togedemaru in Pokemon Go. There's a spotlight hour happening the last Tuesday of the month, which is that next Tuesday? Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Not this Tuesday,
the 30th.
next Tuesday.
That's the 30th.
The 30th. Okay.
The 30th.
Also, Mega Lucario raids are coming Saturday. You probably need to do 2 for enough Mega Energy.
Yeah.
And then also in the TCG, they've announced the Super Premium Collection that features a figure of everyone's TPCI assigned favorite first partner Pokemon Charizard. There should still be an Ultra Premium Collection in November.
Wait, do we know what the Ultra Premium Collection in November is?
Not yet.
Interesting.
I mean, it could be Pikachu since, like, I think Stellar Pikachu is coming out in November set. But
probably. You know what? You're probably right. That's so unexciting.
I mean, they've done what?
That's so unexciting.
They've done Charizard, Pikachu, and Mewtwo plus Mew. Like, those are the Ultra Premium collections. Actually, no, there was the Zacian and Zamazenta one, too. Wasn't there?
Yeah.
Go out there.
That's so unexciting. I don't want Pikachu. I don't care.
Give us Greninja or Lucario. Like, I'll take another poster child Pokemon that's just like not Charizard,
not Gen
Pikachu.
1.
Yeah,
we need the Feraligatr Ultra Premium Collection.
Give me the Goodra Ultra Premium.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
All right. So Wo-Chien's News Corner. The news brought to you at snail's pace because there's not enough news to talk about right now because we're in an off year. 10 years ago this week, Ash's Fletchling evolved into a Fletchlander in the anime. Which isn't too exciting. So 11 years ago, they were showing off the X and Y anime for the first time. We got to look at XY's touchscreen layout, and Game Freak posted a silhouette on their website. But it turns out it wasn't for a Pokemon. They tried to bait and switch us because it was actually the horse from Pocket Card Jockey, another Game Freak was working on. Remember when Game Freak used to make games that weren't Pokemon, and they tried? I'm pretty sure this just led to like a company-wide depression of like, we try to make these really fun games, and then nobody plays them because we're just the Pokemon people now.
I mean, supposedly they're working on another game. They announced it like a year ago.
Oh no, I feel like they like the last one I remember that they produced that was not Pokemon was the town one. What was it called? Little Town Hero. Yeah, I heard it was bad.
I mean, technically, Pocket Card Jockey got a release on Switch this year.
What? How did that just get it released now on Switch?
Right. It was in the Indie Direct like a month or so ago.
Wild.
I think.
Wild.
Or a partner direct or something. I don't know. They ported it.
It's like Hayden Christensen's trying to have a career after Star Wars. It's just like, nope, you are Star Wars man now.
You are Star Wars man now. Yeah, it's like pseudo unfortunate, but what they should honestly do is just create like a second studio name or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should absolutely publish under a pseudonym, and then like years later be like, actually, it's Game Freak. These weren't Pokemon, and you liked them anyway. We tricked you.
All right. So, do you think Spectre is the ghost of the horse from Pocket Card Jockey?
Oh no,
haven't seen it.
Following this up, Puckle's Pokey prediction in their newsletter, Pokemon Unite says they will be picking up the pace for new characters after Worlds. Do you think they'll show more new starters being added after Worlds? Last year they showed Blaziken, Meowscarada, and Mimikyu. I want Feraligatr. This is time for Feraligatr to shine, man. He could be a brawler.
There's not even a Johto starter in there, is there?
No, there isn't.
No, it's because they all kind of blow.
There's also no Sinnoh starter.
Stop it! Don't lie Don't lie, Bo.
Or Unova starter. Oh no,
Meganium's cool.
No, it's not.
They're so under-designed compared to every other starter.
I think Feraligatr is the best one for this format because you could just have him clobbering things. Okay,
you are correct. I do think Feraligatr is the best fit for Unite. I think.
I'm also I don't want to say that they're like pandering to like the popular ones either. But they're pandering to the popular ones.
For the starters, they are for sure.
Starters for sure. Like in Gen 3,
except for Inteleon. Inteleon doesn't need to be there.
Nobody wanted that.
No.
So the one that I think is really weird, like the one I really wanted because I think it's like slightly under it. Like Blaziken is popular and rightfully so. It's a cool looking Pokemon, but it just keeps overshadowing Sceptile, who I think could be just as cool as Blaziken.
Honestly, I think Sceptile would be made fun of as much as Meganium if Meganium didn't exist.
Really? I like Sceptile. I think Sceptile's cool.
I also like Sceptile. The Christmas tree tail took me years to get over.
I like it.
It's fine, but like as a model, it's kind of awkward. It worked better in 2D. And it's not very good.
That's probably true.
And
I want the holiday time. Go ahead.
I was going to say it kind of suffers from its stats too. Like trying to be a mixed attacker with high speed leaves you not much else to do, especially when you don't have a move pool.
Where's Empoleon? Where's
Torterra to Unite? Like we've had that one. We've known.
Oh, did we actually? Did I call that?
Yeah. I just want the holiday hollowware for Sceptile to just be a Christmas tree. Honestly,
that would be funny.
Yes, absolutely.
I would laugh at if they added Sceptile and then just put ornaments on his tail.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to announce anything. I don't really know what Pokemon Unite's going to announce ever. So they just announce things, and like it's one of those things where it's just like, that's neat. Thanks for still being a game.
I like this game. This
game has had more support than Pokken Tournament ever did.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think this game is actually fun. I mean, most of the modes that they announce every month are terrible, but that's fine. I'm really excited. Panic Parade is back.
Remember when Pokken happened and they were like, they tried to make that a world's class game and then nobody played it? Like, even at NAIC, they had to like still get people to have like a full 64 person like roster to play it. It was insane.
I don't think it needed to be nearly as complicated as they made it.
Yeah, the game was complicated because they're trying to make it its own thing, and I just think it fell flat. It also didn't help that like they didn't offer support for it like outside of Japan. Like in Japan, they got the DLC characters like in the arcade machines and all this other stuff. It was just a wonky release process.
Yeah, they're like, well, it's on the Wii U, so we're not going to waste money there, but we'll give
pretty
them
much what
new characters.
I think that was the killer to it. That's what I was going to say. Is I think the Wii U was the killer.
The Wii U killed it.
The name.
Absolutely correct.
Also, yeah, it should have just been Baby's first fighting game, just like Unite was Baby's first MOBA, and it probably would have done better.
You're absolutely
correct. The phase system was just way too much.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
As me, a Pokemon fan who doesn't play a lot of other games like fighting games, like I'm decent at Smash, but like that's only because I've been playing it since I was 5, but
yeah,
or however, but yeah. Anyway,
I was gonna say Smash is a better Pokemon fighting game. Pokemon was, so
All right, well that is going to be it for the news today, guys. We're going to kick it on over to PoGo's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Well, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to PoGo's Poke Quiz. This is the part of the show where we quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. We're going to jump right into it with our first question coming to you from Ace Trainer Nova. And they ask, what is the shortest Pokemon with the ability Intimidate?
Huh.
I mean, Shinx comes to mind. Shinx is probably, 1.5 feet?
Yeah. Does Mastiff have Intimidate?
Or how tall would Masquerain be?
The wingspan makes me think tall.
That was my thought too. What about the Spinarak?
Is Litten bigger or smaller than a Shinx?
Ooh. It's hard with starters because they're all about the same size, but sometimes they're like puny.
And Shinx is like starter size, which doesn't help.
Which does not help at all. Does Spinarak get Intimidate? Or
No.
No, okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything smaller than that.
Like I said, maybe Mastiff if it's just height and not length. Because I think he has Intimidate, but
that would make sense. I think you're right with Intimidate.
But like I said, it depends on if it's length versus height with the dog, and I don't know.
Out of the 3, I feel like Litten is probably the smaller.
Probably. Yeah, I'm stuck between that and Shinx, I think. But.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
I'm gonna need an answer.
I'm going for the turkey real hard, but do you want to use the hint?
Nah.
Okay. What do you feel on Shinx or Litten?
Shinx, I think.
Okay. Wait, locking in Shinx? Shinx is unfortunately incorrect. That is the second shortest.
Okay.
The first shortest is in fact Litten at 1'4". Litten is 1'4", and Shinx is 1'8". So Snubble is 2 foot tall, and Starly is smaller, but it doesn't get Intimidate until it evolves.
I was gonna say I didn't think Starly had Intimidate. I was a little confused.
All right, so good try. 0 for 1. We're gonna go ahead and get you a new question here. We're gonna ask this question. This might be a softball. We'll find out. This is from Toganik, and Toganik asks, in Gen 2, what is the only move that could poison a Steel-type Pokemon? I've definitely asked this question in this segment.
Twin Needle.
That's Twin Needle, yeah.
Twin Needle is correct, yeah. I've definitely asked this question at least twice on this segment.
I've heard this I've heard this in a segment like that. I think the one I remember was Maximus answering it like
I was literally about to say that was definitely Mr. Maximus answered it also immediately off the cuff.
That's how I remember.
I just remember.
That's how I remember too.
The problem is all of us have been doing the show just as long as the segment's been around. So
I remember when it started. I was not doing the show, but I was listening.
Yes.
I was.
All right. Well, you guys are 1 for 2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This one is going to come to you from Uncle Nico Pineco, and he gives you this one from Pokemon Snap's Photodex entry.
Oh, no.
Yes.
This Pokemon's powers allow it to do things such as predict the future or make objects float in the air. In the forest, it was using its psychic power to entertain other Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon?
So I was on Natu until it mentioned the forest, and now I'm thinking it's Esper?
This is new Pokemon Snap, obviously.
New Pokemon Snap. It's the only one with the entries like this.
Text entries. Okay,
like it sounds like it's in the Lost Forest, which was
right. I'm trying to think what's in that Lost Forest.
I think Esper was in there.
Yeah, but I didn't see Esper like entertaining other Pokemon.
I think it was like an event you could trigger or something.
Oh, maybe. But isn't like Gardevoir also in the forest?
I think so.
What's Hatterene?
I'm not sure that one's in the forest.
I don't think it's in.
I'm not sure that one's in the game.
I don't think it is either. Now that I think about it. I did not finish that game.
It was a long game. There was a lot of game there.
There was a lot of game, and I definitely didn't go back every single place.
I tried to complete it, and I didn't. I think there was still one that I just never figured out how to get like a Sandshrew in a certain location, but besides the point.
Take Sandshrew. I mean, you want to shoot for one and get the other entry?
Yeah, I think Esper is more likely to be playful than Gardevoir.
Let's do Esper.
Esper is unfortunately incorrect. The next entry is going to come to you from Pokemon Sapphire, and it reads, This Pokemon has the psychokinetic power to distort the dimensions and create a small black hole.
Yep.
It will try to protect its trainer, even at the risk of its own life.
Yep, that's Gardevoir. That is 100% Gardevoir.
We're going with my instincts on the rest of this game because we have a perfect score.
We keep getting it to a 50-50 and I call wrong.
Gardevoir is correct. Gardevoir is your answer. You guys are 2 for 3 here. Your next question is your multiple answer question. And it comes with, you're gonna be able to get 3 points here. There are 4 answers for this question. Okay? This one actually comes from a good old friend of ours, Professor Snag.
Hey!
And he asks, last week the topic was about unused type combinations, but Gen 1 actually had a few unused monotypes. What 4 monotypes were unused in Generation 1? We, of course, are excluding Steel, Dark, and Fairies, as they didn't exist back then.
So flying type is like...
Yeah.
Easy.
Flying is correct, yes. That is one of them.
Were there any pure rocks? Yeah.
Are you locking that in, Rock?
They were all drowned.
Locking in Rock.
Rock is correct. That is 2 of them, yeah.
There was a grass.
Actually, I'll give you all 4 points if you get them all. I'll give you all 4 points.
Ooh.
Let's see.
There was mono ground, right? Yeah, Diglett exists.
Water, definitely ground. Definitely Bug because of Caterpie. Definitely Dragon because of Dratini.
You're only missing 2. You got Rock and Flying so far.
Yep.
Ice. Ice is not one that is mono.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Locking in Ice.
Ice is correct. That is 3 of them. There is one more if you want to try to go for it.
More. Okay. There's Poison.
I'm both surprised and unsurprised you're not getting it.
Electric. Fighting. What are the other types?
Right.
Oh, it's Ghost. It's Ghost.
Ghost, yeah, because they're all ghost poison. Yeah.
Ghost is correct. That is all 4. I'll give you 4 points there, guys. See, that is, you guys are up to 6 for 4 now. Generation 2 obviously gave us the first pure Ghost and Mischievous. The first pure Rock is Sudowoodo. Generation 3 gave us the first pure Ice types in the Snorunt line. And pure Flying didn't happen until Generation 5 with Tornadus. So, wild. I think first
trivia question.
Yeah. That was a good one. All right. Well, with that said, guys, we're going to move on to our base stat question as always. And I'm going to give this to you. This one comes to you from G. McP. Excluding Megas, what fully evolved poison-type Pokemon has the lowest special attack? Excluding Megas.
Excluding Megas.
We say excluding Megas
because Mega Beedrill lowers
at like 15. Yeah.
Mega Beedrill lowers its special attack incredibly. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
You have the hint as well.
Oh, yeah, we could use that.
Hint Cash, please.
Hint Cash. This is a dual type that was introduced after Sword and Shield.
Oh.
Huh. Was it in the DLC? Would it be...
Could be.
Would it be the Slowbro? No. Would it be Slowbro?
It shouldn't be. They're all special attackers, right?
They are all... That's what I thought. So what else came in?
It wouldn't be Hisui and or it wouldn't be Overquill, right? Like, would it be Sneasler?
Oh, maybe.
I would have expected Ariados, but it might be Sneasler. Or it could be Repaprum?
What else? Yeah.
But saying after Sword and Shield makes me think it's probably Hisui?
Hisui, because otherwise it would be, I feel like it would have said came out in Gen 9.
Yeah, because that's a large pool of Pokemon. We're saying Hisui means it's like 2 Pokemon.
Right, that's either Overquill or Sneasler.
I mean, Clodsire might be up there too, but...
Oh my gosh, I don't know the stats of any of these Pokemon.
Like, Clodsire doesn't have a lot of stats, though I think it's the defense that is lower.
Okay.
Like, metagaming, I'm more on Sneasler than Clodsire.
I'm thinking.
I need an answer here.
Sneasler feels better to me too, so let's go Sneasler.
Sneasler is correct. A base special attack of 40. Next up is Beedrill and Clodsire, who are both at 45.
Oh, okay.
Followed by Dustox at 50 and Toxapex at 53. So Sneasler's correct. You guys got 7 points today. So that does change up our standings in our race to the end of the year. I gotta find Sigma. There he is. Oh, there we go. And we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna
in first place.
New first place. You haven't left first place.
No, I said in first place, standing at 6'2".
In first place, standing at 6'2" with 23 points. Bocefus. In second place, we've got Cloud9 with 15. In third place, we got tie between Whimsicott and Sublime at 14. In fourth place, in fifth place, we've got Seth Milo with 13. In sixth place, we've got R.Sigma with 12. In seventh, we've got Dr. Shamu with 6. And in eighth, we've got Yushiro with 5. Yeah, wild. Bo, you're just crushing it. You can't host that show now at the end of the year like you wanted to. Unfortunate. All right. Well, with that said, guys, we are going to go ahead and kick it on over to our topic. We'll catch you on the flip-flop. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to our topic. Yeah, the topic. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We were already having a minor discussion beforehand. What we're talking about today, though, there was talk on the interwebs this week about how Professor Elm is the worst Pokemon professor, which I think I probably disagree with.
I disagree with it. I
have reasons as well to back this up. And it came up to an interesting conversation, though. Who is the worst Pokemon professor? Right? Who is the worst? I have some answers. I think some of the I think it might be like more of an everyone sucks here situation, but that's a whole other thing.
The worst professor is Professor Ivy because of what she did to Brock's heart.
Yes, but some of them can suck while looking pretty, like Sycamore.
Because she broke Brock's heart.
What'd you say, Sigma, about Sycamore?
Oh, I said some of them can suck while looking pretty, like Sycamore over there.
I think Sycamore is fine. I have no problem with him.
I have no issue with Sycamore, apart from the fact that he gives us Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah, that's because he was studying Mega Evolution, and the Gen 6 starters don't Mega Evolve.
Do you guys remember Professor Sycamore's first name?
Something with an A. It's not Aloysius.
August or Augustus?
Augustine. It's Augustine. Yeah, Augustine Sycamore.
That was also a trivia question back in the day.
Yeah, because it used to... I remember Aloysius because when we started the podcast... The original co-host of the show, this is some deep lore for people who haven't listened to the first episodes. Thank you for not doing that. I appreciate you. Our Professor Sycamore on the show, the original co-host, his fake name that he would go by is Professor Aloysius Sycamore. It was so stupid close to what we ended up with. I hate it. I hate how close it ended up being. And yeah. But I think for Professor Sycamore is fine. I have no problem with Professor Sycamore.
Oh, no, he's one of the better ones.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the better ones. Professor Juniper, also very good, including her father.
Juniper, iconic.
I don't know what her father did, but, I'm sure he did well in his day.
Yeah, he retired. It's fine. It happens. Yeah, so
Do you guys remember his name?
The first Professor Cedric Juniper, yeah.
Yeah, Cedric, yeah.
He has a TCG card. I know that.
That's how I remember, yeah.
A lot of Pokemon professors don't have first names, which I think is funnier. But the ones that I would like to disagree with the initial thought though that Professor Elm is the worst professor, because they're like, he's just not memorable, blah blah blah, all these other things. And as somebody who is involved in like tangentially in academia in their career, and he sees people doing research on different things, Professor Elm is like the perfect follow-on to Professor Oak. Professor Oak is like that seasoned professor that has been doing research for like 30, 40 years after getting his PhD.
He even has a radio talk show where he explains everything. Like he's a good professor.
He's essentially like the Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
Yeah.
No comment. Professor Elm is like the young professor who's just getting started in their research. In my life, I see a very perfect parallel between these, and I love it. And I love the dichotomy between the two. And I think Professor Elm is, he's just getting started. He's trying to find his research topic. He's like Pokemon breeding, Pokemon evolution to some extent, right? I want to learn about this. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just starting my research. This is a new field. Where Professor Oak's like, yeah, I've got publications and a bunch of this other stuff. I've written textbooks. That's the vibe I get, at least, right?
I've completed my Pokedex. I was a good trainer back in the day.
Well, and Elm is a very good successor to also the region and the generation that is Johto and Gen 2, because he specializes in evolution. He's supposedly the best when it comes to research in Pokemon evolution, which a bunch of old Pokemon evolve all of a sudden now, and that kind of leads into why it's like, oh, they're being discovered that they evolve now. It's not just something that just happens. There's like new evolution methods, and you're helping with that research. And the other thing is that, you're discovering the effects of Pokemon breeding, which baby Pokemon were first introduced in eggs, and that was all introduced in that game. And so, like, he as a character.
Well, that is typically what they do in the games. Like the professor, or at least they used to very early on, like the first maybe 4 or 5 gens. The professor was just like, yeah, I have something to do with the Pokemon that are being involved, right? Like Professor Oak's.
Elm does it better than anybody else. But, like, what does Birch do?
I think so. I do think Professor Elm is the most topical of them. I do agree with that. Also, the artwork that they kept posting on Twitter this week, opening up this discussion, some of my favorite artwork of Professor Elm, by the way. I just really enjoy it. I saved it on my phone so I can put it on a TCG mat later.
It's a good one. I think it's from a TCG card.
It is. It's from, like, it's one of the Professor Elm TCG cards.
It was from, like, the Sun and Moon era, but yeah.
I love Professor Elm. I think he's like the perfect follow-up, though. I think he's just the perfect follow-up.
Yeah, I think what makes it awkward is that you hear that he's studying Pokemon breeding, and you're like, how is that something new? How is that a new field? Like, it makes sense in the context of Gold and Silver, but in the context of the world,
I think that's a Pokemon issue, not a Professor Elm issue. Yeah.
Eggs were discovered. We didn't know where they came from, and now we still don't know where they come from. Like, we don't.
I mean, we do. It's a clip art show. We've seen Arceus make an egg.
It's fine. It's fine. Either way, I don't think he's the worst. Like, I think he's perfectly fine. Like, there's a worse one than Professor Birch, because he's supposed to be researching Pokemon habitats, and he enters Route, 101, and he gets chased down by a level 2 Poochyena/Zigzagoon.
It's even better in Oras, where you have to do it, 3 times.
I was going to say something to that. I think what would have made Birch's character a little bit better is if you're going to the different environments, and then you have to run and save him from different Pokemon that he keeps running into, and then he gives you little key items.
I think that would have made it more memorable. It would have also been a really cool way to introduce some of the rarer encounters in the game too. To be like, oh man, he's getting chased by an Absol over here. That's no bueno.
Yeah. Also, but because he feels like,
what a missed opportunity. That's a good point, Bo. I thought about the same thing. We're one brain. It's fine.
He goes out to the Route 1. He can't get past it. You save him. You bring him back, and then he sends his kid out to do it. So it's just
his kid is far more competent than he is.
The kid is incredibly more competent. So yeah, I'm definitely on Birch in the games as kind of the weakest so far that we've come across.
I mean, Professor Rowan just seems like a really stoic, I don't know.
He exudes competence.
Yeah, he just like he's like a contemporary with Oak. He says it several times. Like, I'm a contemporary with Professor Oak, and even Professor Oak comes to Sinnoh in the games, and like they say hello to each other.
Yeah, he could say anything, and I'm like, yeah, you're probably right, Rowan.
You're probably right. This is how most grad student professor relationships work. If your professor's old enough, you just go, yeah, he's probably right.
It's like he's a little prickly, but he exudes that he is more than capable.
He was the first professor to manage 3 children. All the other professors managed 2 at a time. Elm had 1 but yeah, he was the first one to manage 3.
That's true. The thing I didn't like about his introduction was very much in the same way that I didn't like, well, no, it wasn't his introduction. I guess how you get the starters in those games is slightly different. It's just like, oh, hey, here's a suitcase with the Pokeballs in it. Why aren't these Pokemon professors like walking around with the starters in their bags? What's going on? Also, Birch had those starters like right nearby when he got attacked, by the way.
He's just running in a circle. He's fine. You can't think to go grab his bag with the Pokemon in it.
Rowan at least like dropped his suitcase. And like we found it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he was looking into the lake and it's like, oh, oops.
I like to think that was Lucas/Don's responsibility. And they left it there.
They dropped it. They dropped the ball. That's probably what happens. That's true. That happens. Yep. That's normal.
It was the kid's fault. It's fine.
It was like, you're my assistant, you carry my suitcase. We're looking at the lake, and I set it down to do something else, and then I didn't pick it up, and we left. And then when we came back, Rowan admitted it was his mistake as to not, because that's what a good like teacher would do. It'd be like, oh, I left it here because I entrusted my student with it, and they left it, and it's my fault for entrusting. He just seems like that kind of character.
We talked about Professor Juniper a little bit. I don't know if I have any comments. I mean, she was the first female professor, so that's kind of boss. Second, I don't think there are any problems. Like, she added to the story pretty well. She actually checks in on the players.
Yeah, you find her as you go through the story. That was great.
She is researching the origin of Pokemon. For those of you who are unaware, she researches the origin of Pokemon, which is kind of important to the story. I mean, I would say like Gen 5 is when we started switching to like more story centric Pokemon games, because like Diamond and Pearl, like, yeah, there's a pretty big beat for getting to Dialga and Palkia, but when you get to Gen 5, it's just like, no, we're going to talk about truth and ideals all the time. All the time.
It's a very story-driven game, especially with like the device that you get, cross transceiver?
Oh, yeah, the phone, the video phone. Yeah.
That thing, your phone. Yeah, your video phone.
The cross transceiver.
Man, okay, complete aside, nothing Pokemon. I remember going to Disney World as a kid when I was like 12, and we went on like the Epcot ride, and like in the future technology thing, they had this thing with video phone calls people were taking just like in their bedrooms, and I'm like, wow, that's so futuristic. And now I thought about this the other day. I'm like, wow, that is not futuristic. That's just now. Wild. Why? I'm like, wow, we can do this in our pocket. My mom does this on a recliner.
That is the now. That's FaceTime. They've had that for 10 years about.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Small aside. I'm amazed by technology and how far it's come in 21 years. Science is amazing. Professor Sycamore, as much as Sigma doesn't like him, I do.
Technology is amazing.
The power of science is amazing.
He's one of them that we have to wait for, but I imagine we're going to get something like that.
No, I like him. I would get full art Professor's research of him if I could.
In the TCG when the new games come out. I have the Oaks and I have the Sadas. I will never get the Magnolias.
It's like I have my Oaks. I'm content with them, but I'd upgrade to Sycamore.
No, I don't have Turo. I do want the Turos though. Like the Turos are really good. Like they look really nice. But yeah, Professor Sycamore's good. Professor Kukui. How do we feel about Professor Kukui?
I wanted to say Professor Sycamore is like that one type A kid, very much that's like very excited about everything. They once they become an adult, they shave every day. They're always like very clean, and I don't know, they feel like that very type A student. Whereas like transitioning to Kukui, that person is also that kind of type A person, but they're like, they let themselves go a little bit more. They don't have to be as like uptight. You know what I mean? I feel like.
Yes, in the anime, he absolutely is.
He's very hands-on with his research too, isn't he? At least from the anime, where he's getting like tackled all the time. Like there is nothing I could say bad about Kukui as like a professor. He's
very involved. He has good personality.
Yeah. No, Kukui, I think, is probably one of the, like, I would say top 3, like active throughout the story. great personality. He has an alter ego in the Master Royale, which is just super fun. Enjoy.
Well, that's what you do. You make the system. I've done this several times. I make the system. I'm the champion until you beat me.
Despite making the system, there's...
So you get a full-on professor fight.
And then you beat me, and then that's fine. I'm okay with that.
You make the system so you can be number one. Yeah. I was the champion for a day. Or actually, I think it was like an hour in his case, maybe.
The way I view it is more of a celebration. Like, he finally pulled off the idea of an Elite Four, and he's just like, now you just gotta beat me. And it's like a celebration of just like, beat him, and then you're the champion, right? It's more of a celebration of like, hey, I accomplished this. Yeah. Better than the other champion. Who's the other champion that we just got? Greta? Is that how you say her name? Jita. Yeah, Gita. Yes. They did fix her eventually. You are correct, yes.
It took them a while to fix her, but they did. It's like, why, yes, let's lead with the person or the Pokemon that sets up hazards and end with the Pokemon that's better when everything else is dead. That makes sense. That is how you should battle. Yeah.
The only bad thing I can say about Professor Kukui is he gave us Rotom decks. That's all I can say.
Instead of ending with the hazard Pokemon, yeah.
I am upset with how much, like, I'm unsurprised, but also upset that we still have, like, it's been 2 generations and we still have Rotom phone. In the zeitgeist, that is mostly correct. Poryphone is better. Oh, Rotom Dex was much more annoying, yes.
To be fair, the Rotom phone is like, Rotom phone is fine compared to like Rotom Dex. Rotom Dex was a character, which was unfortunate.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny though, actually. They should have done that.
I did see something that was like, it'd be neat if Rotom Dex, the entry for Rotom was just like, the most handsome Pokemon of all. Super strong, fast, and really handsome. Like,
that's actually a really good question.
Was Rotom even in any of the Ultra or the Sun and Moon Dexes? I know it was an island scan Pokemon, which means it wasn't in at least one of them. I don't know if it was added in Ultra Sun and Moon.
Let me see. I'm gonna find out how to catch Rotom in Gen 7, and then we'll get back to this. It has no Generation 7 Pokedex entries, so that is frustrating. Actually, I do not like that. You can catch it though in Island Scan in only Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. You can't even catch it in Sun and Moon. What? Oh my gosh, that's so frustrating. I don't like that at all. Pokemon, you hurt me. I feel so hurt.
He's right there.
The Rotom phone bothers me a lot just because like Rotom was kind of supposed to be rare, and it feels like somewhere they're like puppy milling these Rotoms to put into phones.
It's fine. Rotom's a cool Pokemon though.
What's worse is it's a ghost type, right? It's a ghost type, which means that like something probably died to make it. And we're like, let's use this in technology. This is ethical. So I do have that problem. Maybe
they're just smashing CRT TVs to create Rotoms. Like,
I don't know if that's good either. I don't know if somewhere someone in the retro video game community cries out in anguish.
Like that's how new Rotoms are born. You kill a TV. It's fine. Perfectly fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think we get to some of the weaker ones, and some of them that I can claim are the worst now. Magnolia, I think, is the worst. I just think she's the worst. She does nothing. She does conspire. Yeah, she is actually, though, right? Like, she's an actor in this.
I mean, she conspires with Rose. Like, she's helping him in his project. Right? I mean, I still don't quite understand why Rose was arrested for breaking up his own event. He was, like, in charge of the league, and so the champion battle was his event, so how did he get arrested for breaking it up? That doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of problems with the Sword and Shield story.
So many. Like, the whole thing obviously is not good.
Like, they try to say Rose is evil, but was he? Like, that was his event. If anyone has the right to interrupt it, it's him.
Yeah. No. Yeah, where is it? Oh my gosh, where is it? She periodically appears in the story, her most notable experience being in Hammerlock upon the request of Chairman Rose, so that Rose may know more about Galar particles. Oh my gosh, yep. And then Sonia takes over, obviously, afterwards. We get Professor Sonia. Sonia's fine. No, Sonia actually did stuff in the story. She was more...
I think Sonia was good. Sonia Sonia's a fun character. She's working hard.
She's BFFs with Leon, and now she's a professor. That's fine. Another young professor coming up into her own, into it, just like Elm.
And she even took on Hop as an apprentice. Hop is like the most terrifying Pokemon professor out there with a legendary. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Laventon, I don't know that I'm mad about Laventon because he's just a product of his own time, right? Like, he's trying his best. Like, he's trying real hard, okay? He also writes some of the best Pokedex entries.
Yeah, he's trying his best, right?
Oh, Laventon's fantastic. He does. He writes some of the best Pokedex entries. He's very involved in the story, and he does a lot to, like, advocate for you as the character. To be like, hey, maybe, like, don't throw him out into the wilds. Like, maybe give him a chance. Hey, maybe, like, he didn't fall from the sky to kill us. Maybe he's just here to, you know.
The story of Hisui and how everybody's just superstitious that you're there to end the world the entire time. To be fair, though, in the 1800s, if somebody did just fall from the sky, that is the response.
Okay, but in the game, like, I've been playing the game recently, and, Kamato, the boss guy or whatever, he's always like, there are many people in the town that don't trust you and find you unsettled. I'm like, I talk to everyone here. They love me. Like, I've helped most everyone do everything. They all love my Pokemon. Everybody only has nice things to say to me. You're really the only person that I've spoken to that wants me gone.
He's talking about Benny. Benny doesn't like you. He's going to kill you.
Benny doesn't like you, man. He says you slurp the potatoes too loud. You gotta go.
And then Benny is like, oh, you invited him back. I'm leaving for Hoenn. Get out. I'm out.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. All right. And then the last, okay. Absolute worst ones, actually, though. Professor Sada, Professor Turo. They're the worst ones. No, because both of them put their research before, like, the livelihoods of mankind and their child. Yeah. Isn't that insane? Okay, but the research was like ending the world.
They are the two that I thought of the most when I'm like, no, they're worse. They're worse. And their child.
Bad parent does not mean bad researcher, okay?
Not to mention, I don't think the way they used AI was probably inappropriate.
It isn't the way that 90% of us use AI inappropriate.
Yes, I have so many ethical issues with AI, Bo. You don't even know. I barely use it for that reason. They absolutely did. Oh my gosh. Do you want me to get into this with you? Okay.
No, Sato and Turo did nothing wrong.
They did a lot wrong. They're researching time travel, and I'm not sure the Pokemon we have are time travelers. Let's start with that.
No, they're dimension travelers. Sandy shocks and is enough in itself just to be like, they're not time travel. They're definitely alternate reality Pokemon. Because we have all these entries about Magnemite and Magneton being like synthetic made Pokemon and them being recent additions to the world.
You could just catch a Magnezone and Hisui outside of a space-time distortion, which is so confusing.
Yeah, but Magnezone's an ancient Pokemon. It's cool. It was in Hisui. Yeah, they just exist. They're aliens. They came from outer space. It's a chicken and the egg situation, and the chicken came first.
The Magnezone makes sense to me, because the Magnezone, I firmly believe what happened is like a Magnemite or a Magneton made it out of a space-time distortion and like went to Mount Coronet and then evolved. Like that's my in-head explanation for why the Magnezone is there. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. But yeah. Sada was determined to maintain her dream of past and present Pokemon existing in harmony. Unfortunately, Sada's research was cut short when she attempted to stop a territorial battle between the two Koraidon, defending the passive one and taking a mortal blow. Oh, that's pretty nice, I guess. But she did use AI unethically for sure. And definitely abandoned her child. So Arvin ended up growing up in the Lighthouse Laboratory on Poco Path on his own, never seeing or connecting with Sada/Turo due to the latter's newfound devotion to the Terra Project. That's depressing.
He had a dog and he learned how to make great sandwiches.
Yeah, but then he tried to go back down to see his mother or father, and that dog got real hurt.
Dude, okay, Arvin, like, has the darkest backstory of all time. Because, like, he goes to find his mom/dad, goes down there, and it turns out they're dead. They've been dead for years.
They've been dead for years?
Oh, he finds them. He finds his long lost mom or dad, and then learns that they're not real, and that he has to like basically kill them.
And what's even worse is then you go to the little pond in Kitakami. You go there, and then they appear to you, but not to their child. They appear to, well, more directly, they appear to the Miraidon/Koraidon instead of their child. These are just like horrible people. Like, these are horrible people.
And then they give us the key to the time machine that we can't do anything with, but yeah.
How were they regarded? Like, because they were regarded very well.
The head of the school really liked them. Like they still had a research station in his office, didn't they? Like their old, I think they worked together with him and Jacques in the terrestrial research, which is awkward for Jacques and Clavel for not saying, "Hey, be a better parent," but you know.
Yeah. The other bad parent in Pokemon that stands out, I mean, other than like Giovanni and stuff, but like Lucamine is because the Ultra Beast drove her crazy, and it wasn't necessarily her fault. It was like she was being poisoned by right. Well, like the same thing with Santo and Tura. Like they I said those backwards, but they were like researching the alternate dimensions or the time period or whatever, and I think they probably stumbled into well, it was all unhealthy. I mean, like when your mind is poisoned.
They're time travel. They think it's time travel. And it's not like their spouse got trapped in the time portal or something. The spouse just left.
Yeah, which is also the spouse. Let's talk about them for a sec. Horrible people as well. It says based on the timeline too, by the way, that like Turo and Sada went into Area Zero and started doing the research before the spouse left, which means that they were just like hanging out with Arvin and were just like deuces.
I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. I'm out.
That's why the spouse left.
We're just like deuces. I'm actually kind of bummed that like we didn't find out that the other professor was his other parent. I'm a little bummed by that.
That was my expectation. I mean, I understand why they didn't, but...
So, what if it was they left, but the other parent was actually like Full Metal Alchemist situation, like they needed to sacrifice them to open up the portal to get the thing to work. And they were part of the experiment, and that's why they're gone. And it's like, yeah, they left after I started the research. Sorry, Arvin. It was like, oh man, and then Arvin does have the dog. Oh shoot. Okay, no, I was mostly just playing devil's advocate because both of them are very hot. But they're hottest professors, but just for the internet. But, yeah, they're terrible. They're the worst.
Yeah, no, definitely. They were the ones that came to mind when I saw the question. It's like, Elm's not as bad as Sada and Turo, right? Like,
yeah, like Sada and Turo are certainly like more fleshed out characters than Elm, but like I think that just comes with the time of making video games. But I do think the way they're written, they are like the worst. They are the worst people. Like they barely do anything to help the player either. Like you don't get your starter Pokemon for Professor Turo and Sada. You get that from Clavel. Yeah, exactly. I love Jacques.
No, you get that from Clavel. You get your Pokedex from Jacques.
Probably not that much since they closed Area Zero afterwards.
What about, okay, but how much did they contribute to science with their discoveries of alternate dimensions?
There are no more individual researchers, Bo. It's all science is done by teams now.
They were on a team. They were on a team for the Terrestrial project, right? Like Clavel and Jacques were working on that too. So, yeah. And their time travel research was clearly not time travel. Like, Clearly.
I don't know how you go, this is a billion-year-old Jigglypuff. Like, that's not possible. Also, where'd you get the billion-year Jigglypuff? Where'd you get the billion years from? Where did that come from? How, did you carbon date the Jigglypuff? What's going on? No, nothing's a billion years old. That was before life was on Earth. 4 billion. There wasn't life the whole time, though. Yeah, like 400 million I could believe. I don't think multicellular... Let's find the dawn of multicellular life. When did sharks evolve? This is a Pokemon podcast. 450 million years ago. You are correct about that. About the sharks. Trees? When did trees evolve? Let's find out. Between 350 and 420 million years ago. They are, apparently. We've proven that correct.
Okay. I saw a TikTok that said sharks were older than trees, and now you've confirmed it for me. Thanks. So So trees evolved into the grass type to defeat sharks, which is why sharks are water type and trees are grass type.
The grass type evolved to beat the water type.
You heard it here first. Canonically, on Earth, trees are around to defeat sharks.
It's about as accurate as Sada's research.
Wait, are you got any more comments? I think Sada and Turo are the worst. We agreed on this, right?
What about I was gonna say we pretty much did. I was just looking at other professors. We didn't talk about Samson Oak at all, or anybody from the spin-offs. There was somebody from the spin-offs I thought I was gonna say something about, but I don't remember who it is now.
Grand Oak was great. He figured out how to send Pokemon backwards in games. We're good with him, right? He lets our Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet go back to Sword and Shield if they existed. He did good with that. I put that on him.
Is Grand Oak even a professor? I think he's just called Grand Oak. He's not Professor Grand Oak. He's just Grand Oak. He's evolved past professors.
He's evolved past professors.
It says, I am the great Pokemon researcher, Grand Oak. Grand is the level that comes after Professor.
He does give you a Kanto. They have no idea what he is, actually, it says. It's not confirmed. When you start the game, he gives you a Kanto starter. I just realized if you connect a game to Pokemon Home for the first time, you get a Kanto starter. I forgot about that. Hidden ability, too. I think those stop. I want to know, Pokemon Home should have more gift Pokemon.
Do they do the same thing for Scarlet and Violet and all those, or do those stop at some point? It's always awkward when they do tournaments and they're here's your reward. Have a code for Pokemon Home. It's
When first starting Pokemon Home, the player will already have a Pikachu in their storage. When first starting the mobile version, you get Bulbasaur, blah, blah, blah. I actually don't know. Wow, what? Yeah, I know. Yeah, nothing exciting.
I'm checking in the Pokemon new... looks like the starters are still in the news section, so they must be available. For each game, if you attach it, you get the starters from it with the hidden abilities. So
here we go. Yep, you get the starter for connecting anything to it. It looks like, and yeah, pretty much everything. It looks like. Melmetal still there? Yeah. Yep. Gen 8 starters. You get a Rotom. As soon as you put something in the GTS, there's a significant number of gift Pokemon. I still think they need more. Yeah, the one, it reminds me a lot of Pokemon Battle Revolution, which we need more games of something of that sort, where you could get a bunch of gift. Yeah, where you get a bunch of weird Pokemon for just playing. It does. I do agree with that. You are correct.
I mean, that goes all the way back to Pokemon Stadium, where you could get Earthquake Gligar. That's the real prize. I mean, Stadium was better. Because it gave you Almanites, Kabuto, the choice Pokemon. It gave you the choice Pokemon available.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna just end it there, and we're gonna go ahead, guys, and take it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex 879, Copperaja, the Copperderm Pokemon.
This Pokemon was brought to Paldea long ago by people from a faraway land. It's so strong that can easily pull an airplane.
I didn't realize that the Pokemon Scarlet one also says it doesn't belong here either.
We don't know where it belongs.
I hope that's in every entry in every game that we ever get Copperaja in for the rest of time.
No, I want its home region, but I do like that they were in Sword and Shield. It was it's brought from a different region, and then Scarlet Violet was but not this one.
But not this one.
Not this one though. Definitely not this one. It was somewhere else.
Break.
One day we'll get the Raichu entry about it being able to electrocute a Copperaja.
Yeah, I want that one. That's the one I really want. Copperaja is a steel-type Pokemon and is something, let me tell you. 130 attack, that's pretty decent. 122 HP, that's decent. 69 defense, that's pretty bad. 80 special attack, why? Why so much? Special defense, 69.
For some reason.
Yeah, speed, 30. Why go fast, you elephant? And I mean, the move pool's not too bad either. Like it gets decent steel type coverage. It gets high horsepower. It gets super power. It's doing the things. It's a fine Pokemon. I don't know what to say about Copperajah. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It had a Gigantamax that was really bad.
Yeah. No, I kind of like it because at least like it was laying down a different type of Stealth Rock.
So that part was cool about it. The bad part was that it had 2 abilities that turn off when you Gigantamax.
Yes.
Because Sheer Force turns off. Heavy Metal, you don't have weight. Weight moves don't work anymore. Yep. So either way you go, it's losing its ability, which is unfortunate because other Pokemon don't have to deal with that. Some of them even get better, like Hustle Pokemon.
Wait, we already got the Raichu entry. Although Copperajah is unobtainable in Pokemon Legends Arceus, it's briefly mentioned in the Pokédex entry for Raichu. This already happened.
In Legends Arceus, I would not have expected that to be.
I think Laventon's
Laventon.
I think Laventon might actually be from like the home region originally. Well, no, he's from Galar, but so he does know at least about the Copperajah.
Mm-hmm. I always thought Laventon was like Hop's ancestor.
Yeah, potentially.
Or at least a distant relative.
Hop or How, either one. They have the same animations.
I mean, Hop has the carved Krogunk in his room or something, so.
Hop has the carved what? Oh, Krogunk. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does become a professor, which is why I kind of link them together.
No, here it is. It can discharge bursts of electricity exceeding 10,000 volt or 100,000 volts. A single strike with that amount of power would incapacitate. I can't speak today. One of the Copperajah of my homeland, but I think it just means Galar.
I'm assuming that's Galar too.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that and I was just like, that's cute.
Good, we deserved that.
Mm-hmm. That's cute. But yeah, Copperajah is a Pokemon. I don't even know if the cards were good. Let me look.
You tried I remember when you were playing the like original Copperajah deck.
There was like an OG like D block card that I was trying to make work because it was cute. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This might make Bo feel better because I tried to play a lot of budget decks. Which one was it? It wasn't this Copperajah. It wasn't like the OG one. I think it was like the E-Block one. No, it wasn't. I lied.
The Darkness Ablaze one?
Maybe it was the Darkness Ablaze one. It might have been the Darkness Ablaze one, but I don't remember that art being the one I wanted to do. So, let me see. I mean, Copperajah V, I never tried because it's bad.
No.
That was like 2 steel and a colorless for adamantine press for 90. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage. This is like worse Goodra. This is terrible. What was the VMAX? Was the VMAX any good? Probably not.
No.
Wait, there's a Copperajah EX?
There is. Yes.
It's bad, isn't it?
It's very old, so yes. Probably.
No, the Copperajah EX is in rotation now.
I know, but it's still old. It's from Paldea Evolved, which was the second set.
That's like a year ago. Don't say that to me. Copperajah VMAX 340. That's actually pretty high HP. That's like the highest HP you typically get. Let's see. Dangerous Strike or Dangerous Nose. My apology for 2 steel and a colorless. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, this attack does 100 more damage. That's almost enough to knock something out.
I mean, if it's a basic, it probably is, right?
Basic V's had like 200, just over 200. So you'd probably get like, you'd need like Choice Belt, right? Which didn't come out until like, Choice Band, whichever one it was.
Whatever one is, yeah.
And then G-Max Hammer for 3 steel and a colorless for to do 240. This is actually pretty bad. Aggron VMAX was better.
I was going to say, I feel like Metal VMAX probably is similar. I don't even know what that does.
Metal VMAX?
I feel like there were a lot of Steel VMAXs that just never did anything.
There were just a lot of VMAXs, period, that didn't do anything. Metal VMAX was 330 HP. This was from the Pokemon Go set. And it for 3 steel, it's G-Max Juggernaut. This attack does 60 more damage for each extra steel energy attached to this Pokemon. You can't add more than 120 damage in this way. So it's like, you can put 5 on him. meh. That's still in rotation, isn't it?
Yep.
That's still technically in rotation.
Shiny Caparaj is disappointing.
You should run Melmetal VMAX, Bo.
Okay.
Do it.
Run it in Lost Box. It's fine. Lost Box can make any deck work.
Gmax is such a... Why? I don't know. I have so many feelings about Gmax Pokemon. And, like, their need to exist. Like, I really don't get it. I really don't get it.
I mean, on the one hand, Charizard Gmax looked really cool. But
yeah, I just like a lot of them came about. Well, it also like was with Dexit, so like my opinion of that also jaded it initially as well, because I'm just like, okay, so these forms are just not going to exist in 3 years anyway, so who cares?
I mean, it also sounded like they didn't care about Megas because it only worked on certain Pokemon, but then they created Gigantamax, which was the same thing. Yeah. With the same problem, so
yeah, I don't know. It was weird, and a lot of the forms honestly just aren't that memorable. Like Gmax Dreadnought is just Dreadnought, kind of, and like Gmax Colossal is just bigger Colossal.
I mean, Gmax Colossal actually saved that design, but
yes,
it's a rare thing to happen, but regular Colossal's really bad. Design
yeah, it is. Is Gmax the Caparaja's Gmax form is inspired by elephant statues, often made of copper or bronze. Interesting.
Neat.
How many of those do you keep around your house?
None.
Yeah,
I'm down to only 4 or 5 now. I've got rid of most of mine.
Your Caparaja or your elephant statues?
Yeah, my copper elephant statues that are slightly tinging green from the weather.
I love when Pokemon are like monotype and like a weird type like Steel. Like the types that were definitely like made to be secondary types. Like I think about like Rock and Steel and Flying, and like when we just get like pure types of those, I think it's very silly. And I do really like Caparaja for that reason.
I like that reason. That as it evolves, it gets more green, which is what copper does.
Yep, like, it oxidizes and it becomes more green.
Thank you. Yeah, so Q-Fan is that little orange copper pot, and it's just got a little on the top, and then as it evolves, it becomes more
oxidized.
Yep.
I think it would be cool if it were closer to like Spindo, where like it could be cleaned or something, and you could have like a different form of Caparaja. You know what I mean?
Maybe when we
doesn't make a big difference, but it just cosmetic, and that would be
even like you know how like the Arbok changed from region to region.
Hell yeah.
Something like that.
Hell yeah.
Totally. I think that would be really cool just to see like a slight change from region to region in the Caparaja design. Yeah, I mean, Shiny's also kind of unexciting, which is surprising to me because these are the ones that are like intentionally designed.
It's mail time! It's time for the mailbag! Send in your emails!
Welcome to the Mailbag. The Mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we might read it on the show. We typically have a mailbag prompt. I believe last week we asked you guys what you thought about the type combinations. Did we do type combinations? We did type combinations.
It was type combinations, yeah.
Yeah. And we got a couple emails about that. We got a couple emails about other things. And we always like reading your emails, no matter what they're about. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But as always, this part of the show is sponsored by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And as always, we'll give out the Green Tauros badge on the Discord server if you write an excellent email that inspires us. Our first email this week is going to come to us from Liam, and I believe you've got this one, Bo.
Sure do. Hey, Liam here. And I don't really know for the question, LOL, but I would like to ask a question for you guys. He says one, but it's actually a 3-parter. Buckle up.
Buckle up.
What is your favorite Pokemon? What is your favorite shiny Pokemon? And what is your favorite Pokemon game? Liam says his favorite is Dragapult for favorite Pokemon. Favorite shiny is Mudkip, which is a very good choice. And favorite Pokemon game is Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Mine is Feraligatr. Favorite shiny is Greninja, probably. I think Greninja. I think that's a solid choice.
I mean, that's going to be mine too. So I don't know.
And my favorite game is X and Y. Done.
Yeah, mine are Cradily, Greninja, and Black and White 2. White 2 specifically, I guess.
I'll accept that.
Mine are going to be probably Bulbasaur. Favorite shiny. I'm also going to say Greninja just for the sweep. And then favorite game is either X and Y or Legends Arceus.
X and Y or Legends Arceus. Yeah, Legends Arceus is pretty good, actually.
Anything between Platinum and X and Y are like big thumbs up. And then like Legends Arceus is a good one too.
Legends Arceus is like, I'm happy they made that game because I think it helped them figure out how to make a good Pokemon game on Switch. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I fully expect a lot of Legends Arceus to bleed into Gen 10.
I agree with that.
All right, well,
Gen 3 is also good.
Hopefully it leads into ZA.
Yeah, thank you for that one, Liam. Our next email this week is going to be from That Chespin Dude. And Sigma, you've got this one.
Hello! Emphasis on the Puckle crew. Here are my picks for an unused type. Yanmega seems like it's an easy pick because 1, very underrated, and 2, Dragonfly. Now, that doesn't mean Yanma should get it. 3, Yanma doesn't get Ancient Power until level 33. I don't think most people are keeping a Yanma until their starter is about to evolve. Also, why does Yanma not have a single Dragon-type move? Easily have Dragon Rush or Dragon Pulse.
Actually, I agree with that. Dragon Pulse on Yanmega should be possible.
Yeah, probably. I think that would be within reason. It has BST 1 or 515 with base 116 special attack and base 95 speed, which really doesn't suck, especially with speed boost.
Especially speed boost. Yeah, I was about to say speed boost. I remember back in the day, you protect Yanmega speed boost, go to town, have some fun.
Though Tinted Lens isn't bad either. I think that's its other ability, isn't it?
Compound Eyes.
Oh, okay.
So you can increase accuracy.
Compound Eyes Hypnosis?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, you could do that. I mean, this was back before like Baton Pass was like also banned and all this other fun stuff. So
I liked Yanmega. It's got a cool design. So give him Dragon, so I don't have to Terra it. Megas in ZA. Next is Fire Fairy, which should have been Victini, but I could see how they missed it.
Ooh, that would have been good.
Because of it being a mythical.
Yeah.
If Fairy type was around when Victini was introduced, I could see that.
Yeah. If Fairy type would have existed in Gen 6, it would have happened. Or Gen 5, it would have happened.
Or Gen 5. I could have seen it. Granted, I never think of a mythical with the typing as being like it being a real typing yet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't count Marshadow. It's when we got the Annihilate that I'm like, yeah, we got a real ghost fighting now.
Yeah, that type combo. Yeah, I agree. Looking at you, Volcanion.
Nothing else stands out, but I think a Rapidash Mega would work. That actually would be kind of cool.
I think we called this like years ago on the show. Like we talked about like Pegasus Fire Flying Rapidash at one point.
Or even
I think they wanted for a Fire Fairy, which, you know, with Galarian Rapidash, I think that kind of can work out. But continuing with the email.
Ninetales could do it too.
I think if they made Mega Rapidash a Fire Fairy and Mega Arcanine a Fire Dragon in ZA, that would be epic. Next is Ice Poison, which they could have done with Hisui and Sneasel, but a regional Muck or Garbodor sound cool. Don't want to ramble on too much, so see you later from That Chespin Dude.
Dude, Grimer should get...
Yeah, they chickened out with Sneasler.
Grimer should get a second regional. Meowth got it.
Glamoric could have been Ice Poison, I think.
Yeah, you're correct. It could have been instead of Rock Poison.
I mean, they're both awful types, but, you know.
Well, Diglett got in a lowland form, and then it got the...
Wiglet is awesome, though.
The lookalike Pokemon, like Wiglet, yeah.
Wiglet is not awesome, stop it.
Wiglet is great. Wugtrio's the problem. We've been over this.
Okay, actually, yes. They should have made it more interesting. They should have made it more interesting than Wugtrio.
No, they should have made, like, Sneasler. They should have made Wiggler, and then it was just the worm from Super Mario.
I think that would have been good. Oh, dude, we could have seen the feet on the Wiglet. Like, that would have been good.
That would have been really good.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, Game Freak. Listen.
Or if it was like a whole colony instead of just 3.
The one TPCI representative is listening to us right now. Can you get these ideas back? I mean, that's all.
If the CIA that's listening can translate this over to the TVCI for us, that'd be great.
All right. Well, our last email this week is going to be from Gigasaurus Games. Hello, Puckle crew. The comments in this week's episode about unique type combinations in addition to unused ones made me want to add a complaint about the only electric psychic type Pokemon, Alolan Raichu. It's really an interesting design and a good Pokemon, so unlike Ice Fire, it doesn't necessarily need another Pokemon. Still can't be evolved from a Pikachu outside of Alola. Hard agree. They should have let Alolan evolutions happen in the terrarium.
At least in the quadrant, yeah.
In that quadrant. They should have allowed it. I think so. It can be traded and found in Dynamax Adventures and Swish, but only in its final form. Even though Ice and Fire is only meaningfully accessible via a Belly Drum Zen Mode Galarian Darmanitan, which can actually work unlike Unova Darmanitan. At least any Galarian Darumaka can access it with an ability patch. As for unused type combinations, I imagine an Ice Poison type as a giant fantasy venomous snake formed of ice crystals. That's pretty cool, actually.
I like that.
I also have an idea for a normal rock type as a prehistoric giant ground sloth. Even though existing fossil Pokemon include dinosaurs, turtles, invertebrates, and even crinoids, there are no mammalian fossils. Since traditional fossil Pokemon are rock types and many mammalian Pokemon like sloths or like Slackoth are normal, it would probably make the most natural design for a normal rock type. I imagine it would be an upright slouch sloth with rock spikes jutting out of it like a porcupine. I would probably also give it grass type coverage to give it something interesting mechanically, blah, blah, blah. Cannot speak today.
Bullet Seed, yeah.
Bullet Seed, yeah. As always, it was a lot of fun hearing discussion about new ideas on the podcast. Thank you for all your effort to put together such a great episode every week. I would hope you have a wonderful day, Gigasaurus Games. Well, thank you.
That would be a good fossil.
I love that fossil idea. Yeah. Honestly, last week when I was listening to the show, one of the things that I thought for normal rock was like a fossil, and I was thinking of like a mammoth or something. I like the ancient sloth way better. That's awesome. Also, Ice Poison, that could have been Chien Pao, but they chickened out.
No, they all had to be dark. It's like the Tapu.
They had to be dark.
They all could have been poison. They chickened out.
We got that with we did get that with like Petra Runt.
That's what the Loyal 3 are. Yeah.
Loyal 3.
Oh, that's why they saved it.
They might be a disappointing group of Pokemon, but there are a disappointing group of Pokemon. One day Monkey Dory will rise.
All right, that is going to be it for our show today. If you want to email us next week, you can do so at puclpodcast@gmail.com, letting us know who you think the worst professor is, maybe even the best one. Send that in to puclpodcast@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to keep up with us throughout the week, you can come over to the Discord at pucklediscord.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever they are. Those are the social medias now. Of course, you can follow us over at YouTube at youtube.com/pucklepodcast and catch our stream on Thursday at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. I will be back this week because work is not ridiculous anymore. And with that, I think that's usually what I say. If you want to help support the show, you can go over to Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast. I think the new merch tier item that comes out in September is going to be flip-flops. So get on that while you can. And with that, though, guys, I have been your host, Trainer Thatch.
I've been R.Sigma.
And I'm Bocefus.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.